Hello, YouTubers, friends, compatriots, bootlicker, shills, debts, leaseers, peasants, vassals, minions, meat sacks. I'm Useful Idiot, welcome. And let's talk about all this blustery talk by Trump about making Canada the 51st state, buying Greenland, and then taking back the Panama Canal. I got to hand it to him. He's got a flair for the dramatic, and I think this is the usual talking big. Trump is thinking big and talking big. And I think a lot of this talk is for negotiating points. And the history of all this is kind of interesting. Greenland, the U.S. wanted to propose buying Greenland from Denmark back in 1947, and they found it strategically a great place to have as a result of World War II. And they offered Denmark to wipe out all of Denmark's war debt in exchange for Greenland. And so there's some history there. And there's also some history with Canada. There was talk of the U.S. invading Canada numerous times, and Canada was very, very nervous about that over the last couple hundred years. And in fact, the United States has documents and plans for an invasion of Canada at some point, which undoubtedly are gathering dust at this point. But this interesting relationship between Canada and the U.S. has existed for a long time, and there's a lot of great historical speculation about why Canada didn't end up as part of the U.S., and there's a lot of reasons for that. But and then the Panama Canal as well. The U.S. built the Panama Canal. 38,000 workers died during the construction of it, and ostensibly the U.S. controlled and owned it for many years. In fact, it was under Jimmy Carter that the Panama Canal was sold to Panama for apparently $1. So the idea that the U.S. could take back the Panama Canal is pretty out there. But once again, Trump is prone to these grandiose gestures and the speculation. I don't think anybody should take any of this seriously. In fact, that's one of the more comical things I've heard. Apparently, something like 18% of Canadians like the idea, support the idea of becoming part of the United States. But a lot of people up there are really taking Trump's threats to take Canada and annex it seriously, which is pretty hilarious. And Denmark has made it very clear that any ideas about the U.S. buying Greenland are preposterous. And of course, Panama is blustering about the idea of Panama Canal being put back in the control of the United States. Trump's reasons, of course, are the fact that a lot of American blood and treasure was spent building the Panama Canal. It's a necessary element for the U.S. military and the U.S. economy and the global economy. And there's a lot of Chinese influence there now, and so he's using that as a negotiating point. But I think the bottom line is, as far as Panama, that's what it's about. Basically, negotiating a better deal, and Trump is all about negotiating a better deal. So a lot of his talk is just about that. But it does sound pretty dramatic, and I admire his willingness to go out there and throw these big ideas out. But it's not going to happen. I mean, just in the modern world, something like this is not going to happen. Nobody's going to give up Greenland. There's a wealth of resources there. Of course, part of that is the struggle going on with the great powers like Russia and the U.S. For more control over the Arctic regions and their resources. And so that's part of the picture. But the fact that anybody's taking this seriously and is not taking it in the context that even Trump means it just shows just how gullible and histrionic people can get over these ideas that are thrown out there. I, for one, find it pretty amusing, and I love him stirring the pot. And what a great vision, though. The whole idea of expanding the territory of the United States into the 21st century is pretty dramatic and overall pretty hilarious, but it's not going to happen. I'm useful idiot, don't you be one too.